Everybody here, and welcome to the Pass ISD regular meeting. Today, May the 10th, 2022. It is 5:34, and we are calling this meeting to order. We'll have the Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. Mijares, will you please lead us?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you, Mr. Mijares. We'll have roll call. Present, we have Vice President Ms. Hilda Martinez. I believe our Secretary, Dr. Hector Alvarez, is walking in. Trustee Chris Hiller present. Trustee Glenna Purcell present. Trustee Lupita Fuentes present. Trustee Victor Perry is not here. We do have our Superintendent Samuel Mijares present, Attorney Richard Struber present, and myself, Jorge Barrera, present. We will now move to citizens' communications and recognitions. We don't have any citizens signed in, any communications tonight. So we will move into recognitions. The first one, we will have recognition of the Eagle Pass High School Lady Eagle softball team for winning the 36A district championship with a record of 12-0.
Good evening, Mr. President, distinguished members of the board, and of course, Superintendent Mijares. Thank you for allowing me to spend some time with you this evening. Our first recognition for tonight is to applaud the Lady Eagles softball team for their tremendous season, going undefeated and claiming the district champ title. Are there any parents that would like to get a photo before we move on? If there are any parents that would like to take a photo of the girls with their recognition before we move on.
Next up, recognition of Eagle Pass High School softball coach Oscar Ruiz for being selected as Coach of the Year 2022.
Continuing with our softball recognitions for this evening, we would be remiss to not give a nod to the man at the helm of the ship, Coach Oscar Coca Ruiz. Coach Ruiz has been named this year's District Coach of the Year. He has also been named to the 2022 Texas State All-Star Coaching Staff at St. Mary's this summer. Congratulations, Coach, and well-deserved. No more cuts, sir. No more cuts. You'll be back in like 5 more.
Next up, recognition of Glass Elementary baseball team for winning the Division III Triple Play Winter League Championship.
Our next recognition for tonight is to recognize Glass Elementary's Division III Falcon baseball team. It was 1, 2, 3 strikes. They were out, and the Falcons got them at this year's Triple Play Winter League. The Falcons soared above the rest and came home victorious and district champs. Way to go, coaches and athletes, on a job well done.
Next up is recognition of the Benavides Heights Elementary Bulldogs for being champions of the City of Eagle Pass Parks and Recreation Winter League Boys Division II Basketball.
The Benavides Bulldogs proved that they owned the diamond this year during the Triple League Winter League. The Division II Bulldogs represented their school and brought home the championship trophy. Congratulations, Bulldog athletes and coaches.
Next up, recognition of the CC Wynn High School Color Guard for their achievements during the 2021-2022 school year.
Our next recognition is to honor CC Wynn High School's 5-time state color guard champions. Wynn's Winter Guard, under the direction of Mr. Carlos Vela, claimed their 5th TECA state title on April 2nd with their show, Do You Like Me? In addition to winning the whole competition, the ladies also claimed recognition in movement, equipment, general effect, and, of course, the illustrious Fan Favorite Award. Congratulations, ladies, and can't wait to see you back here next year with number 6. So we're going to get the photo with our photographer first, and then we'll have a moment for parents to come up and take photos. So we'll get our photo first, and then we'll move on with the parents. Okay, any parents that would like to take photos?
Next up is recognition of Eagle Pass High School seniors Alisa Peña and Jimena Cifuentes for being recipients of a Gateway Scholarship.
Eagle Pass High School would like to take this time to congratulate seniors Elisa Peña and Jimena Cifuentes for being named Gateway Scholars. Each year, St. Mary's University awards Gateway Scholarships up to $90,000 based on academic achievements. Congratulations, ladies. Do we have the parents here to join us with their daughters? You can come forward and join in the photo with your children. No? You can, parents, come on up with. This is a special award for both you and your parents, girls, because you just saved them a lot of money.
Next up is recognition of Eagle Pass High School seniors Mark Flores and Cassandra Perales for being UTSA Bold Promise Scholarship recipients.
We now move from St. Mary's to UTSA, where seniors Mark Flores and Cassandra Perales have nabbed the title as UTSA Bold Promise Scholarship recipients. UTSA Bold Promise is a tuition promise program that aims to make college more accessible and affordable to graduating high school Texans. Qualifying students will have their tuition and mandatory fees covered 100% for 8 fall and spring semesters within a 4-year time period. Congratulations, Mark and Cassandra. Cassandra and Mark's parents, are you here? Come on up.
Next up is recognition of Eagle Pass High School seniors Isabela de Luna, Texas A&M, Jessica Sebastian, Texas A&M, and Miranda Bermea, UTSA, for being awarded the Terry Scholarship.
Congratulations goes out to the 3 Eagle Pass High School seniors who are awarded the Terry Scholarship at Texas A&M and UTSA. For incoming freshmen, the Terry Foundation provides full ride scholarships that are renewable for up to 4 years to Texas high school students. The Terry Scholars receive an estimated $100,000, which will cover tuition, housing, and living expenses. In order to qualify for the scholarship, the students must meet certain criteria: academic achievement, leadership, and, of course, the school nominating them. The scholars went through a rigorous interview process in Houston, and congratulations to Isabella, Miranda, and Jessica for coming out victorious. Congratulations on all your future endeavors. Do we have the girls' parents here? If you'd like to come forward for a photo with your daughters, come on up.
Next up is recognition of Eagle Pass High School HOSA student Colin Caballero for placing 3rd in state pharmacy science and advancing to HOSA International Leadership Conference, ILC, to be held in Nashville, Tennessee.
Congratulations to the Eagle Pass High School students who participated in the 2022 HOSA State Leadership Conference in Galveston, April 19th through 22nd. Eagle Pass High School Administration and CTE Director, Mrs. Castillon, would like to give a special congratulations to senior Colin Caballero for advancing to HOSA International Leadership Conference. Colin placed 3rd at state in pharmacy science and will represent his school and district at the 2022 HOSA ILC in Nashville, Tennessee. Congratulations, students, and of course, best of luck, Colin.
Next up is recognition of the Eagle Pass High School Student Council for being recognized by the Alamo Association of Student Councils.
Eagle Pass High School is proud to boast the merits of their award-winning student council. Out of all the councils in the Alamo Association, EPHS was one of the 2 that earned sweepstakes and outstanding council accolades. The group also earned nods in pride and patriotism, energy and environment, drugs, alcohol, safety and health, and community service. Congrats, Eagles, and keep up the great work.
Next up is recognition of Eagle Pass High School boys track and field athletes for their performance in district, area, and regionals.
We now move into the world of Eagle Pass High School track and field. A special congratulations to OJ Reese, Dakota Kipuros, Kyle Gloria, Adam Crone, John Medrano, and Jorge Aguilar. These boys qualified for regionals and represented their school and team tremendously. Way to soar, Eagles.
Next is recognition of Eagle Pass High School girls track and field athletes for their performance in district, area, and regionals.
Anything boys can do, girls can do better. The Eagle Pass High School girls track and field had much to boast about too, as Isabella Morin and Natalie Flores made it all the way to regionals, and making an appearance at area were Victoria Bartlett, Paulina Escobar, Novalie Rivera, Paola Tejarina, Melanie Guerra, and Analia Trevino. Way to go, girls.
Next up is recognition of the Eagle Pass High School Mighty Eagle Jazz Band, percussion and color guard for their outstanding achievements in the 2021-2022 school year.
The Mighty Eagle Band has had another very successful year as they claimed their 40th Superior Marching rating. They also boast accolades in guard and indoor percussion, as both groups placed second at their respective state TECA competitions. And the jazz band, not willing to be outdone, placed a second place as well at the Tamuk Jazz Festival. Head band director Mr. David Solis also applauds all three of his concert bands as they received a First Division Superior rating at the UIL Concert and Sight Reading Contests. Congratulations, Mighty Eagle Band, on your clean sweep.
last is recognition of Radar Elementary for being selected as the most clean and maintained campus for the month of April 2022.
Inspections have been conducted on a daily and weekly basis on how well EPISD school grounds have been maintained. There have been visitations to not only school campuses, but district buildings as well. This month's recommendation goes out to Radar Elementary on their merits for an outstanding job maintaining the school grounds clean and safe. Thanks to the hard work and dedication from the Mavericks, the school achieved a total score of 64 out of 65. Congratulations, Radar, on your campus beautification.
We will now move to district reports and presentations. We will take 1, 2, and 3 together. Mr. Mijares?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, if you turn to page 52, which is a financial statement. Sorry, 73, page 73. If you look at the M&O, we still continue to do pretty well with our finances. Our revenues are up. We've collected about $6.6 million more than we're supposed to at this time during the year. So we're collecting the state and the federal and the taxes. So we're doing pretty good with the revenues. If you look there towards the top right corner, we've collected 73% of our revenues, and we're barely in the month of April. So we're doing really good with the revenues. Our expenditures, we're doing even better with our expenditures. When you look at our budget for the M&O, our budget's $86.5 million. We spent so far 54%. After 8 months, we're supposed to be at about 67%. So we have about 13.6% that in the good that we have not spent. That's about $11.3 million that so far we look at saving for the school year. So on the revenue and then on the expenditure side, everything continues to look pretty good. Our utilities, if you go to page 83, we're doing great with utilities also. We're supposed to be at 50%, which is all the way through February, the report, and we're at 38.6. If we continue at this rate, we'll probably be saving about $500,000 in utilities, which is what we saved last year, that's enough to pay the payment that we have to make on an annual basis that we had to pay for the E3 renovations that they did. So this tells us that it's paying itself, whatever we did with E3. It was a good contract. Taxes, we continue to collect our taxes. We're doing pretty well. We're looking at having a 99% collection rate or better at the end of the year. And we're hoping that this continues throughout the summer months. That's all I have. Are there any questions?
Any questions? No? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next up is presentation by the Food Service Department on the School Meal Action Plan. Mr. Garcia?
Good evening, Board President, Mr. Barrera, members of the board, and Superintendent, Mr. Mijares. I'm going to be presenting the Food Service 2021 or 21-22 real glance real quick of what we've gone through this year, what we've done, and what we're working on for the action plan for improvement of the Food Service Department when it comes to our food and our facilities and services for our students. Let's go ahead and get started here. So, table of contents, we're going to be looking at the food service overview, what it is that food service is right now and how it's progressing. The food service 21-22 at a glance, practices and changes, mitigating through COVID this year, the audit or administration review that we had done through TDA, and Turn Up the Beat award that we received for participating in the summer food service program throughout 2 years in a row. Due to COVID, we couldn't do our regular school year program, which is NSLP, and we received an award this March for that we applied. And then we're also going to look at the food service 2022-2023 changes and initiatives that we have planned or are currently working on to improve our services. The Food Service Department overview, we currently operate the National School Lunch Program, School Breakfast Program, School Food Service Program, After School Care Program, and currently we're operating under the SSO, Seamless Summer Option. We have served 3,277,347 meals as of yesterday. It did increase from last time we did this presentation was 3 years ago, where we had calculated 3.6 million served in the whole year with a higher student enrollment. We currently have 216 staff members, and we do operate in 24 cafeterias, 1 central kitchen, 1 food truck, and district caterings, amongst other different events that we go ahead and cater to or take care of through our department. And we currently operate a $12.8 million budget for the food service. Food service 21-22 at a glance. We started off the year with a 1 menu item, standardized menu, and it helped us to maintain the menu items that were available at the time. It was a straight plate, which means that we offered all 5 components, which are our fruit, vegetable, grain, meat alternate, and milk, and every student had to receive all 5 components, as opposed to a regular school year in which we allowed them to choose 3 out of the 5. We did have a 4-week cycle menu that we planned around available products that were made to us, and we try to maintain them as consistent as possible, except due to shortages, discontinuation of products. We did have to have menu changes, and our menu did change, and we try to maintain it as best as possible through, if one burrito was discontinued, we try to implement another. One quality of pizza, which we like to buy the round one that looks store-bought or restaurant quality. We had to buy the rectangle, which was what was available at the time. But we did have menu options that we had to change to. We did have paper supply shortages, food shortages, discontinuations, but we tried to make the best of it this one year. And we did have to have limited line options like the food truck for about 3/4 of the year. It was taken off our line, and the salad bars at our junior highs and high schools that was removed. And this was due to staff and food shortages. On the positive note, we did have the administrative review, which I did attach the letter on the green packet that was left there for you. We did quite well on it. Our findings were of $8 and some cents. And then we have the Turn Up the Beat Award. Like I mentioned earlier, 2021 and 21-22, we operated under summer programs. And this was received out of 89 districts nationwide. I believe 19 in Texas that received this. We came out with the silver award out of the gold, silver, and bronze. So we did, or the department did quite well on this one. Next, we were able to bring in, or in February, we went ahead and ordered some products, some food products to improve our menu options, which we did receive late April, which is when we went ahead and implemented these products. I was able to take or request pictures from a manager of their daily servings of what they were serving. Some of the products were like the bolis, or the kids are calling them the bolis, that are now being served. We were only able to get peach flavor. But they have been a hit around our school. The pizza, like I said, it was improved from the rectangular, squared-looking one to the wedge or the French bread pizza that's now being served. And now, 2 option menus are being offered in our cafeteria like it was 3 years ago. So those are just some of the few items that we brought in. A good example of how we replaced, like our corn dog, regular old school corn dog was made unavailable to us, so we had to substitute it with a mini corn dog. And there's a picture of one on the 3rd row middle section of little things like that we had to kind of implement. And actually that product was preferred by our students as opposed to the one corn dog that was usually used. Now for the food service department 22-23, what's coming back is the National School Lunch Program. We are now shifting back from SSO to National School Lunch Program and School Breakfast Program, which is going to be a change of guidelines from kind of like the flexible or what the flexibility that they were giving us. They're now putting us back into certain regulations, as in going back to the even lower sodium and lower calorie intake that was being implemented before. Meal options to elementaries and high schools, 2 main dish hotlines like we are doing right now, that's coming back. The grab and go used to be one grab and go option that was available on a daily basis, which it was 1 salad, 1 sandwich, on top of their hot options. The food truck to the high schools is coming back, and the salad bars to the junior highs and the high schools is coming back as well. But what I do want to bring out or make note is the new to district, that our grab and go is going to increase to 5 options on a daily basis. So our children are not only going to have the 2 items on the hotline, but they're also going to have 5 grab and go options available to them, which is going to be a sandwich or variety of sandwiches, variety of salads. And in total, it's going to be 7 options for elementaries and about 8 options, 9 options for junior highs, and more for high schools since they have the food truck. That's going to be the grab and go initiative that we're looking at starting early in September. Food truck number 2, we're looking into working or bringing in another food truck that will be able to serve our junior highs, just like it does our high schools. We're looking into renovating our high schools from serving lines to making them more appealable or students having a wider variety of options, to the seating and table capacity out on the dining hall, so it won't be your traditional round, hard chairs that we're currently using. They're going to be more aesthetically pleasing and more ergonomic for them to be more comfortable in them. And of course, the food service improvement itself, not just to the service of the students, but the department itself, we're looking into the purchase of fleet vehicles, cafeteria equipment, storage facility for our frozen and products. And all these initiatives that we do have going on and we're currently working on, I do want to emphasize that it does require of TDA and USDA approval because of the amount that it's going to cost us to make these changes or implementations. We are working to getting the wording and everything out accordingly, to procure accordingly, That way, it comes out of child nutrition funds, and we don't get penalized for using child nutrition funds for a purchase that wasn't supposed to be made or made inadequately. And also, the implementation of the 2023 menu that I have attached on your folder, that was done through a committee to get what the students better liked or preferred, or what they saw was most served for both breakfast and lunch was considered. And the implementation of this menu, I would like to implement in September, due to allowing me August and September to use part of our inventory, our current inventory that we have in stock, just like we do at home. If we've got food or in the refrigerator, we don't go out and buy more until we kind of lower that. And I would like to implement this change till then, for that particular reason. That I do have food that came in late April, May, that I do have to kind of go through before, or would like to use up a little bit better. Next is a sample of what meals are gonna be served on the grab and go that I was talking about earlier. A parfait is one of the options. It does meet all the nutritional guidelines according to TDA because it has all the components, but we also have the sandwich, the salad, pretty much it's gonna have the noodle salad as well. Many options for the children to choose from that they might feel for the day. They don't feel like having the enchiladas for that day. They can feel free to have the salad, the sandwich, or any other option. And these are, for illustration purposes, the one in the middle is a croissant sandwich. It kind of looks like a foot long on there, but it's a croissant sandwich, and I do want to kind of make that clear on there. And it does comes with its veggies and fruits and all the components, and meet the requirements again of a nutritious meal. And I would also like to take this time before I go on to questions to thank the board and everybody here for the support that you have offered the food service department, because without your support or approval of certain things that we've done for the department, lots of the things food service has done wouldn't have been able or possible. So thank you for your continuous support to my department. So your nutrition is our mission. And does anybody have any questions?
More comment, I guess, than a question. And first and foremost, good job for this last year and what your staff is doing. But one thing we definitely need to do, in talking to a lot of the families and a lot of the kids and stuff like that we talk to, we definitely need to change the way things taste. Because a lot of the times we talk to a lot of them and a lot of the kids and even the family members, and they're like, it tastes bad. So we need to kind of change that. I know some of these things say whole grain and things like that, and a lot of the kids probably won't like it, but let's try to get some better quality of stuff and things that kids want to eat. We don't want to just throw the stuff away. And it starts, I guess, at my home too, because my kids are like, can we change the menu? One of them just called me right now and said, please, let's see what we can do to not so much change the menu, but make things taste a little bit better. So I think that's one of the biggest things that us as board members have kind of faced in the last couple of years. At least me. I don't know about the rest, but I'm pretty sure because we've talked about it. But we really need to kind of hit on that. I know you say there's still some stuff that are left over, but if it's not good, why use it, Just a comment.
I'd just like to add, Mr. Garcia, first and foremost, thanks to all of your food service department. I know these last 2 years have been very difficult, and y'all did an amazing, outstanding job in feeding all of our students throughout this time. So first, I'd like to congratulate you on bringing the department back up, and definitely keeping your employees together and them working at all hours to help with the situation that we were all unexpectedly facing. I think now that we have seen somewhat of a normality, we would like to now proceed to where we left off. And that's just the main thing. Some of us as adults are used to eating whole grain foods and healthier foods because of our diet, our diseases, and we just want the quality of the food. Maybe if you can shop around and see if there's a better quality. I know sometimes we do white bread, but it's wheat bread. That's what I used to do at times. And so now that we're in a better position to shop around. We just challenge you to help us with that, because we do get a lot of complaints as far as the quality. The type of food, we understand that children like pizzas, they like burritos, they like tacos. It's just a matter of making sure that how do we get them to fill up with one large taco that's really tasty. And the main thing is just the quality. So anything we can help you with, and of course we support you, and definitely you all have really done an amazing job in bringing this department and actually helping to fund. We've really seen a difference in how you've handled this. We just now go on to the next level and really challenge you as far as the quality, because our kids do get home hungry. Now, teenagers are always hungry, point aside, but that's all we're asking.
Well, it's come a long ways. I mean, definitely within the last 2 years, it's come a long ways. And just reiterating what they've said. But that way, like you've always known, we got your back on this one. Like, it's like, oh, well, we need this. Like, if it's gonna make things better, you got it, like it's just a matter of always improving. And we've seen that within the last 2 years. But that's the thing, I mean, about this department is, you're always striving to be the best. And I think I speak for all of us here, is that whatever you need on that, like, just ask, and if it can be done, it's gonna be done.
Thank you.
So, yeah.
And it takes part from the parents too. What I would like to see, and I think we're all on board, is a better quality food. I know that you're limited with the portions and the nutrition count, but something that they really enjoy. And then mom and dad and aunts and grandma can bring in additional food, because sometimes one plate just isn't enough. And unfortunately, we can't do anything about that. That is state regulation. However, if we can improve that part, like I said, we're here to support you in anything you need.
Going back to, with what everybody is saying, Mr. Garcia, congratulations, thank you. But also, I noticed where you mentioned at the very beginning where you're doing everything with 216 staff members. And just like Dr. Alvarez and everyone has said before me, ask. I imagine that it'll require, with everything the improvements that you're planning on making for this coming year, you're going to need more staff. Because you do have very efficient staff that has been producing, very productive, but we also need to support you. If you're needing additional staff for your cafeterias, please, address it with Mr. Mijares, both Mr. Mijares.
Thank you.
Like on that, what you mentioned about like the food truck and in junior highs, and then you said, well, we have to submit it to
TDA and USDA?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Has a request been submitted already?
We are currently working with purchasing in Region 20 to get it straight out, because these renovations, I've checked with other districts, and what happens is that not all of them go through child nutrition funds to do these types of purchases. And in this case, we want to use child nutrition funds. That way it stays with child nutrition. And that's why the procurement changed quite a bit from 2020 to now. And we came to find this out during our last administrative review of how things are coming down. So we're working very closely with getting it approved through Region 20 before we submit. That way there's no denial in between. That way there's no, resubmission, and we get it right the first time.
And is there a possibility of that happening within this next year?
Yes, sir. Actually, I'm having a meeting with Mr. Velez, the purchasing director, this week, so we can get it straightened out and ready. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yes, I think one of the concerns, Mr. Garcia, is that, we have students that are in athletics that sometimes don't eat all day. And by the time they get home, they're basically fainting. because they haven't eaten all day, and they all went through a workout, or they went, so the goal is that, we need to make sure that the kids have meals that they like and they can eat. Now, how are we doing on I had approached you a few months ago about the white wheat bread.
Yes, sir.
Uh-huh.
That is actually already been implemented, and it is out. We are stopped using whole wheat products, and we're using 50-50 on our hamburger buns. I'm not sure if it can be seen here on the burger and the hot dog image that was attached. We requested that, and we've been pushing out.
Yeah, because
50-50, yes,
if we do that for the sandwiches,
Yes, sir.
that we use white wheat bread, I mean,
Yes,
it's
sir.
wheat, but it's white, I think it'll be a lot more, attractive for the students.
And actually, I have requested a sample from our vendor for the bread products, see if they will be able to comply with our needs. If not, so we can go out and do a bid for somebody that will be able to comply and get us out of the co-op for that particular reason, to get the better product. Yes, sir.
Are we still under, like the Miss Obama menu?
Yes, sir. Ms. Obama had implemented some guidelines, and then the Trump administration came in and kind of froze those for us for about 4 years. But now the Biden administration has kicked it back on again and implemented where they left off, and now we're having to go back to even lowering our sodium, our calorie intake, and all that good stuff. Yes, sir.
Like I said,
Unfortunately.
whatever you need from us, and let's make the enchiladas great again.
And we are starting to buy like Mrs. Dash seasoned products, low sodium or no sodium products, to try to spice it up a little bit.
Yeah.
And we're working with that type of spices, and they are going to come down from Region 20, teach us how to work with our condiments for our cafeteria staff to try to improve the flavor, which is something that's the problem. But we are looking into those alternatives.
Well, Mr. Garcia, you have the team of 8 here who will be glad to taste your whole grain products.
Burgers again?
All of your whole grain products. Yes.
Okay, no, most definite. Like I said, I spoke with our vendor. Whenever he gets me those samples, I'll be more than happy to share those with you, so you can see what we're looking at, and if not, of what we're liking, we can go ahead and look for another vendor that can provide us with those. No problem.
Mr. Garcia, while we have you here, can you elaborate on, I know, on our rules, as far as children having to get a breakfast tray, even though they don't want to eat, or a lunch tray, and they have to throw it away, and what are the guidelines as far as having to do that? And I know we've asked before, but I know the question keeps coming up, why can't we give this food to either a homeless shelter or a nonprofit entity?
Well, when it comes to a child, let's say we have that the child has to. Most of our campuses do breakfast in the classroom, where let's say a classroom has 25 students enrolled in it. Mm-hmm. We go ahead and send 26, one for the teacher that assists us, and 25 children. And the breakfast is offered to the child. So let's say there's some campuses that the child goes through the line and picks up their meal. For those children, the breakfast is offered to them, but at no time is a child to get it if they don't want it. They can refuse the breakfast if they don't feel like having it, or they already had breakfast at home. So, a child is not forced to take the breakfast. Now, when it comes to us giving away the food to a third party, it just requires of process and procedures that we have to do, documenting of how much we're giving out, and making sure that the facility or establishment that's going to be taking over the food is of adequate conditions where we will not be liable for those products. We can always release, but at the same time, the fear is what will happen once they receive. like our famous enchiladas to the community. That's what was brought up to as an example. I can give you whatever enchiladas are left over at the end of the day at a high school, but then how do I know that a shelter is gonna keep them in a warm or serve them out and then come back in and tell us, you know, those ugly enchiladas came from us?
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
As far as donating food, we'd have to look and see what's permissible under the federal and state guidelines. I'm not sure we can do it, but we'd have to look at it before we were ever to try and give food away, even to a nonprofit, because we have to follow the state and federal rules. Yeah, we're being given money by the federal government and the state government to subsidize these meals. We have to be very careful.
Any other questions, comments? Mr. Garcia, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your work.
Thank you.
Now we will move to action items. Number 1, consideration and possible action to adopt a resolution in accordance with Texas Education Code, Section 28004, as amended by Texas House Bill 1525. And I will read what the resolution says. The Board of Trustees of the Eagle Pass Independent School District adopts this resolution in compliance with House Bill 1525, which recommendations regarding curriculum materials. Mr. Mijares?
Yes. Yes, this action item is to approve House Bill, requirement by House Bill 1525, which any health curriculum needs to be approved by the SHAC through a recommendation. So we have Mr. Vielma here. We have Mr. Vielma here just in case the board has any questions.
Mr. Vilma, any changes?
President Barrera, board members, Superintendent Mijares. The changes are that we have a couple of things that are a little bit different on the way that we were teaching sexuality and things like that. And we always went through the board. We had to go through the board. We just have to go over through the board again and through the SHAC, basically. But that's the only difference.
So it's just the way things are being taught? I guess biggest difference?
So there's a couple topics that they added, like, for example, prevention of child abuse, family violence, dating violence, and then sex trafficking. It's a little bit different than they used to do it, but other than that, the process is the same. We've always had to go through the SHAC and then come back and bring that recommendation to you guys.
Any questions? If not, do we have a motion?
So moved.
We have a motion by Trustee Hiller. Do we have a second? Second by Trustee Fuentes. Questions? If not, all in favor? All opposed? Motion passes unanimous. Next item, consider and take appropriate action on the request to certify all items listed on the 2022-2023. Thank you, Mr. Vilma. Allotment and TICS certification form.
Yes, this is something that we bring every year to certify our curriculum, and we have Mr. Camarillo here, just in case you have any questions. I was looking for him over there, no, over here.
Thank you, Mr. Mijares. Like Mr. Mijares mentioned, that this is a certification that we have to do every year, and most especially on years that we're going to do adoption. So prior to doing an adoption, we usually do it at the end of every year, certifying that we have provided instructional materials that cover 100% of the TEKS. Typically, when we do an adoption, we only consider materials that are 100% TEKS, that cover 100% of the TEKS. So in itself, it takes care of itself. So now it's just a matter of certifying. But now we're going, this year, we're adopting health materials for the 2022-23 school year. So and it kind of, it goes hand in hand with Mr. Vielma's shack resolution, so we have to do that first and this one, so we can get everything aligned and ordered for the following school year. So we're kind of doing two things at the same time in this particular certification and the allotment, because without the certification, we can't purchase any materials for next year. Okay, so are there any questions about this?
Do we have any questions? If not, do I have a motion?
I so move.
Motion by trustee Purcell. Do we have a second? Second by trustee Hiller. Any other questions, comments? If not, all in favor? All opposed? Motion passes unanimous. Now we will move to consent items. We will take 1 through 7. Any questions on the consent items? Nope. Do we have a motion to pass the consent items? We have a motion by trustee Fuentes. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Martinez. Any other questions? If not, all in favor? All opposed? Motion passes unanimous. At this time, the Board of Trustees of the Eagle Pass Independent School District will convene in closed session as authorized by the Texas Government Code, Chapter 551, to deliberate upon the following matters. The board will hear the request to approve term contracts as presented, and the board will hear the request to hire personnel to fill vacancies pursuant to TGC 551.074. Do I have a motion to convene in closed session?
So move.
We have a motion. We have a second. All in favor? Motion passes. The time is 6:38. And the date is Tuesday, May 10th, 2022, and the Board of Trustees is now in closed session. No action will be taken in closed session. The time is 6:53 PM, and the date is Tuesday, May 10, 2022, and the Board of Trustees of the Eagle Pass Independent School District is now in open session, and we will move to item number 10. Item number 1, consider and take appropriate action on the request to approve term contracts as presented. First one. Item number 1. The term contracts.
President, I move to approve term contracts as discussed in closed session.
There is a motion by Dr. Alvarez,
Second.
second by Trustee Hiller. Any questions?
I
Yes.
have to abstain from 440.
Abstention by Ms. Purcell for 440.
Yes.
And I abstain from 631.
631 by Trustee Fuentes. If nothing else, we have a motion. All in favor? All opposed? Actually, we have 2 abstentions. Yes. Okay. So we have,
Just on the numbers.
on the numbers, yes, you're right, correct. Motion passes.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Number 2, consider and take appropriate action on the request to hire personnel to fill vacancies pursuant to TGC 551.074.
Mr. President, I move to approve the request to hire personnel to fill vacancies pursuant to TGC 551.074 as discussed in closed session.
We have a motion by Mr. Hiller. Trustee Hiller, do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Trustee Martinez. Questions, comments? If not, all in favor? All opposed? Motion passes. Mr. Mijares? Reminders?
Reminders, tomorrow we have the National School Nurse Day Luncheon here at the boardroom at 12:15. We also have tomorrow the top 5% at Eagle Pass High School cafeteria at 6 p.m. And on Friday, we have the Chamber of Commerce mixer and auction, and that's at the barracks from 7:30 to 11:30. And if you need, I have your tickets if you requested any. On Tuesday, May 17th, we have the Eagle Pass High School Senior Drive here at the District Service Center at 6 p.m. And then Wednesday, May 18th, we have the Chamber of Commerce Community Scholarship Luncheon at the ICT from 11:30 to 1 p.m. Please let us know if you need any tickets. And also on Wednesday, May 18th, we have the CC Wynn High School Senior Drive at 6 p.m. here at the District Service Center. On Friday, May 27th, is our Eagle Pass High School graduation at the SAC at 8 o'clock. On Friday, May 28th, we have the CC Wing School graduation at the SAC at 8 o'clock. Then a reminder about the Summer Leadership Conference Institute, June 15th through the 18th in San Antonio. And one last reminder, please remember about our annual cybersecurity training that's still available.
Perfect, thank you. If there's nothing else, to have a motion to adjourn.
So move.
We have a motion, do we have a second? All in favor? All opposed, motion passes, meeting is adjourned. 57.